Well, today we're going to show Katy Sue's new 3D decoupage. Now you get two packages I'm going to show, and there's just so much you can do. In fact, let me just give you a taste. Here we go with one. Very pretty tulips on the front and daffodils on the inside. Please come play with us. Well, welcome to Paulette's Paper Place. So the Katy Sue die cut decoupage there's two packages. As you can see, this one has 3 flowers and this one has multiple, but there are 3 sheets in each one, which just gives you tons and tons of stuff. Now you could easily match them to our pattern papers. That would work nicely, but I chose to go a different direction. In fact, let me show you this first one. So the first 2 that I'm going to do come from this package: daffodils, tulips, and poppies, as you can see. So we'll get in close so that you've got a close to this. So I've used on all of these the Dazzle cards because that didn't make me mix and match papers, but it gave me a surface that was very useful. So there we go. So this first one I did on the one that I just showed you. This is the butterflies. There are 5 cards and 5 envelopes inside. And as you can see, I've embellish the front of it. Now, what you probably can't see is that I did use there you go, a black ink pad with, of course, my trusty blending brush and craft mat to go on the outside, just to give that a halo on the back. And as you can see on the papers, there is a big one and then smaller ones that you can layer. And the way that you go typically is that you take the largest, glue that down first, and then take the next largest and foam tape it on top of the matching art, and then continue as you go through all of the designs. I kind of did that and kind of didn't, so let me show you what I did. So for the front, now you could easily take this piece and work this horizontally, except then the butterflies would be flying kind of strangely, so did want to keep them straight up. I did do the largest one down first, but this one I saved for the inside. So then I went into the bits and pieces. So they are all attached with foam tape. We'll get in close just so that you can see a little bit better. So there's a piece there, and isn't that neat? That's just the top of it. Same thing there, another one here, 2 layers on this one, and then 1 layer. So I didn't use everything, but I did use most of them. Now, to decorate the outside of that grouping was really fun. And I used some kind of unexpected things, I think. I used the 117 butterflies. Now this comes in the one sheet, but in multiple colors, and you can tell that I used the red ones. So again, if we can get in closer, that would be great. And I just popped it on top of the art. Now, it doesn't exactly match the art, but I love the fact that it gave a red and did it just very nicely. So that was fun. And then I added, let me show you, some of the red dazzles. And these are the jewel dazzles, and you can see all of those circles are just fitting perfectly into those swirls. And I did use the jewel picker. Now the jewel picker, if you're not familiar with it, has a narrow end and a fat end. And you can just get in and kind of wiggle the jewel dazzle. There we go. And you'll pick it up. Did you see how I just did that? And then you just place it wherever you want it to go. So that can work. You can also use something else, which is what I use often, is our pen knife. And the pen knife, you push the end and it's going to give you a very fine blade. So you can pick them up with this. They do have a tendency to pop a little bit, and sometimes you do wear them, but you can do this. I do find this super effective when I am doing the word dazzles. And here, this is the We're Together. And the We're Together has 2 sheets, the horizontal script and then the stacked script, same words. And I did find this so helpful for just lifting those and placing them. So the Hello Friend is what I used. The other thing I used right here, in fact, all around the circle, are the gold pearl dazzles. Same deal. I placed them on top of the art. And again, I was not worried the fact that they didn't totally match the art. So you can decide if you like that or not. You could certainly take the teeny tiny daubers and color in with ink if you wanted to do that. I thought about it, but we were out of them at the time I designed these. We're back in stock now, so that works nicely. So a lot of different things going on, which of course we'll back up and get to the inside for you. The inside is using an oval. Now, I used our oval cutting dies. I'm sure you would have guessed that. And die cut one just out of a scrap paper. And I did fold this back and do the black edge as I did on the front. But then I also took this and I kind of wanted to have something around that piece that's right here. And let me just show it to you. It's this piece, okay? And so I first did the same thing with the blending brush and went around the edge. As you can see, this is the oval I used, and lifted it off, and that gave me kind of a frame, and that's exactly what I was going for. So I did put this piece down. I also tucked another little one of them just underneath. I just felt it needed a little bit more. So, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You always want an uneven number. So that worked nicely. Then this is the Missing Our Time Together from the same We're Together set that I used on the front. So that way it worked. More of the butterflies, as you can see. On the inside, I used the red ribbon set. On the outside, I used the black ribbon set. I usually don't use two different colors just for the price point, but in this case, red would not have worked as nicely here. So you really need that black to offset the red poppies. So that is the first project. So now we'll move into tulips. And the tulips come from the same set. What did I do with it? There it is. So the tulips are right here. So again, you get one big one. You get extra leaves as well as extra tulips. Same idea. And this time, I did something more typical. So brought out the craft mat, placed my card. And by the way, this card is from the curved Dazzle card. So this you can do horizontally or you can do vertically. So that's kind of nice. I went ahead and did it horizontally. One other thing I forgot to tell you, sorry, about the poppies, is they kind of almost go outside the confines of that oval. I like that. You know, you decide what you want to do, but I like gently breaking the rules. That doesn't hurt. Okay, so with this, we'll get in just a tad closer. So I did bring in the blush ink pad and my blending brush. Notice that the pink goes further in, especially around the corner. So it really goes right over that black outline. So did that on purpose because I wanted to have some more color. And in this case, I did use quite a few of the tulips, although I saved this to show you. These are the ones that I didn't use. So just those few over here and over here. Okay, so they are layered, but pretty much it's just one layer on top. So I like the fact that you really can see how that is a tulip. So just as you would like. Now in the first card, I had a bow covering up the stems of the flowers. This time I went with dazzles. You know, sort of because you can't go wrong with dazzles. And I used the 500 script dazzles. So this just has them. There are 3 different sheets, and they're in multiple colors. And so you can see the I love you is what I placed just right over there. And I like the fact that that kind of spanned the amount of tulips, so that worked nicely. I did like the butterflies on the first one, so I added red butterflies. Now in the tulips, you've got red and kind of an orange and a yellow, so you could go lots of different ways, but we do have the red butterflies, and so I've got them fluttering about, and that worked nicely. Into the circle, the dazzles, I added the pink jewel. Okay, so same idea is that when we design these, because they're called dazzle 'em, the idea is that you can use dazzles, so the art will fit all of the dazzles. So you can see that they're just a light pink color. Now we recently came out with a border and a jewel dazzles in a pink that does not sparkle, and it's a brighter pink. It's sort of a Barbie pink, but we can't say that. And you could use that also. So that worked nicely. Now for the inside, I went with the daffodils. And the daffodils, I simply used the large piece, and I didn't do any 3D on it. But I did do the same thing in using the warm honey ink pad and my blending brush. And this time the dazzles are gold. Yes, right on the corner. And the ribbon, obviously, is not a bow. It is just a knotted ribbon. And notice that that's just a really gentle knot. It isn't pulled taut, but I wanted it to, again, span where those stems are. The Just Because comes from the same dazzle set with the script greetings. And notice on the corners did something a little different with the dazzles, because there are 3 sizes on that sheet. The biggest one in the middle, or at the point, the medium one, and then 2 tiny ones on each side. So just did that on all 4 sides. That worked. Now, in with the Dazzle 'em cards, you get envelopes. So I thought, why not do something? And did the same thing. I'm hoping you can see that. Let's see, let me get it on black. That will be brighter. Maybe. Okay. Well, I did do the ink pad with the blending brush, but I just used some of the extra of the die cuts and glued them to the card. Now, I'm not 100% sure this will go through the mail without pulling off, but you know, give it a shot. And it's a nice way to use those products. So, and just kind of keep them going. We don't often look at the envelope, and we kind of need to do that just to do something more. Okay, I'm ready for my next one, and this is using the next set. So this is called Bouquets and Birds, and this is neat. Now again, you get 3 sheets in each package, so that's great, because you kind of get going on it and you think, oh, I could have done this or I could have done that, and so you get lots of things. And this is, Katy Sue has done the 3D decoupage, but this is the first time that she has so many blossoms on them, and I just love it. The other thing that's new about this are the little birds and these greetings, and I thought that was nice, so I wanted to take advantage of those. So here is the card that I used, and this is the corners. Again, you can do it vertically or you could do it horizontally, so that works. And this time you'll notice I wanted to do kind of a shadow effect in the middle. And so in doing that, I used the violet ink pads, of course the blending brush, of course my craft mat. I kept the blending brush, of course, because it gives that soft edge, and I thought that worked really well. I did find, you know, when you start using this on the edges, you kind of, I always, anyway, tap the ink pad, and then I kind of tap the craft mat, and then I go into the edges, because I don't want a mark, I don't want a line. But here, I kind of started in the middle because I knew I was going to cover it up. So I started and just did this, and then just took it out as far as the art would allow me. So that worked pretty nicely. Now, in the center, I did use this bigger piece, And I also, now you could use that next piece, but I kind of like to save that. I don't know why, but I do. And then I use one flower and then some of the others. So there's just 1, 2, 3 that are raised on foam tape. But I did really like tucking this under that top flower. So wishing you a happy birthday. And then the little bird, this one, because it could rest on that sign. And I thought that was just really nice, and I appreciated that those were added. Now, to add some pizzazz to my card, I went in with the purple thin line dazzles, and you can see I placed them just inside the edge of the card on all 4 edges. And I also placed them over the line. Okay, so there's a line on the art, on the cards. I covered it with the thin line. That way, in fact, let's get a little closer. Thank you, Houston. And that way, it's just more of the color showing, and that's what I wanted. I did recently have a customer do a review, and they called the thin line dazzles tiny but mighty, and I thought that was just brilliant. So I'm going to use that. Whoever you are, thank you so much. Now, the other thing that is here is also the purple jewel dazzles. So again, you can see how nicely they fit. I did just want something soft on this because it has a very soft look with that inking. So I did a bow, and this is out of the white ribbon set. So it worked quite nicely, I thought. Now on the inside of this card, I used that other piece that I kept. I did a halo over on the left-hand side. I wanted to leave room for a message. And then I put 2 rows of the purple thin line. So that just worked nicely. So I do have kind of an oval there and a smaller oval right there. So that worked well. Okay, one more, because I have one more on this. And I'm going to go with the this bright collection. And I did something different, of course. And hopefully you can see all of the gold. Yes. Now, this is using the Swirls Dazzle. I think we do have a collection for fall and Christmas, but then we have about 10 others. There might be a few more that you can choose from. All of them have 5 cards and 5 envelopes. Now, the first thing that I did was to spray this. And we have shown this before, but this is with Hunky Dory, and it is their Glimmer Mist. And when you shake it up, you can hear that ball. Well, that is mixing up the pigments that are inside, and there is a mica. You can tell that by the shine. And I did find, let's see, I'll bring the craft mat. Yes, I'm actually going to do this and try to contain the spray. Hopefully this will work. So this is an envelope that comes in the package. And I'm kind of clearing the area. So I did find that if you are close, you're going to get more of a, like that. But if you're far away, and I'm not sure how far I can get, but if you get, maybe 18 inches, you're going to find, come on. Well, that didn't quite work. Okay. Well, what I thought I found was that when you were further away, you got a lighter mist, but I couldn't quite get far away on the table here. Now, this doesn't look pretty in gold, does it? But I will guarantee you that when it dries, which takes just a moment, it will get very metallic and very pretty. Okay, so I'm going to set my Glimmer Mist aside and my craft mat that I will clean, and we'll let that dry. I think you can start seeing the gold. Okay, dry. Well, this is what it's going to look like. Now, in addition, oh, you better back up. In addition to that spray, I also used the gold ink pad. And again, same thing with my blending brush and the craft mat. Just spray it, just brush that along the edges. I felt like it gave more of the gold. Now, same idea. We've got our big one. And I did use some of the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. I did add the Especially for You. In fact, let me show it to you. It's right there. Tucked it under. And then I added the bird. And I chose the bird that has a little bit of yellow on its breast right there. Now, the dazzles, the jewel dazzles, these are the gold pearl. And you can see that these are a more muted. They're not the holographic. They are it's called pearl for a reason. Now, the bow comes out of the gold and silver ribbon set. It's just dotted at the bottom. So you've got lots of options for, in this case, it's not covering the stems, but for doing the stems, you can do a ribbon, you can do dazzles, you can do whatever else I did on the front one. Okay, now on the inside, same idea, but you want to turn this back. I misted the whole thing. This is where I was further away and it got lighter. And then I also did the ink pad. In this case, I simply took this one, which is the second one, and I did add, so that's got, let me turn it the same orientation so you can see. Okay, so there it is. And you can tell that I added a couple of other flowers. Okay, there we go. Same orientation. I added a couple of other flowers underneath it. And the jewel dazzles, and again, a knotted ribbon. A little bit narrower because this is a narrow ribbon than the previous card. So that took care of that. Now, I did not do anything with this one or this one. You do have some other pieces left. And on this, you've got 2 more sheets. So go back up so you can see. There you go. Let me go back to this. Okay, it's still drying, but it is going to be metallic, I swear to you. Okay, now, what I've done is that on the Money Saver, you get these 2, but you also get 1 each of the Dazzle 'em cards, and you get a whole bunch of the dazzles, the jewel dazzles, the We're Together dazzles. In fact, there are almost 4,000 dazzles in that Money Saver. So there you go. So all of this is in the Money Saver on the right side of your screen, as always. There are instructions, so go down below, click on any of the cards, you'll see the directions, plus you'll see what materials were used. And so that I think is always helpful. If you are watching us on YouTube, you know the drill. We hope that you will like us. We hope that you will comment. Tell me what you think. I like sharing with you why I did what I did, and I hope that is helpful for you too. Like I said, you could go back and choose pattern paper to match these. I thought it was fun to use the Dazzle 'em cards. It just gives you another avenue for creativity. I thank you for joining us so much, and actually, I want to thank you for being the very best part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.